Welcome back to the Rusty Dusty Picker YouTube channel. Today's we're going to do something a little special. I'm going to challenge myself to make something for a really good guy on YouTube, the Cincinnati Picker. I believe he's one of the original guy who resells full time. Not like a lot of us who just like to pick through stuff and resell some, and also in my case recreate things. But he's been very instrumental in teaching a lot of people what to look out for, tips and tricks, all of that fun stuff, and then makes videos. So look him up on YouTube and look up his eBay store, which would be linked in his descriptions of all of his videos. He's got good stuff for sale and he's got good advice. So I'm going to try and make him something if I can. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this piece of driftwood we have here. I'm going to clean it up and figure it out. Now, John lives in Ohio. He's a big Cincinnati Red fan and works really hard at his craft, and supports his family and foster kids through picking and reselling, which is really really inspirational. So let me figure out what I'm going to do here. So the first thing we're going to do is sand down this piece, just make it a little bit more friendly to work with. No splinters. Let it take the paint we put on it a little bit easier. So I'll get started, and I'll get a little loud, but we'll work. Alright, that's a start. Alright, let me clean up a little bit. Alright, so this is what I think I'm going to do. The Cincinnati Picker, John, he's a Cincinnati Red fan, and he collects a lot of their stuff. Their colors are red and white, and I'm probably going to put his initials, CP, on this side where it's notched out. I'll likely do I'll do white on a red background, so I'll paint the wood red underneath and then white lettering, unless I reverse it, which you'll see. And then I will, for the rest of the piece, there's a saying that he uses that I'll explain, that I'm going to put the words for it, maybe in quotes. And I'm also going to preserve a border of the wood, which I will likely stain to make it pop and give it some real character. So let's see how it goes. What I'll do first is tape it off and apply the colors onto the wood, and yeah, so follow along, it'll be cool. All right, we're all taped up. We're going to start with the area where the initials are going to be, the CP, and we're going to do white background with red lettering. So let's quickly, and I mean quickly, get that done. Go with the grain if you can, even if you're dabbing. Always with the grain. Everybody knows the rules. It's more important with painting and staining and such, but I do it anyway. Because everybody knows the rules. Everything making noise today. Jeez. The board, the paint, this thing. Very tempted to have just spray painted this. It would have been more uniform and certainly would have been quicker, but I can't do it. It's a sickness. All right, so that's just enough that the red letters will stand out like we want. So let's let it dry. All right, good. So let's get busy with the CP here. Cincinnati Picker. Just for clarity, the guy has no idea who I am, and he won't know until he actually receives this in the mail, and he won't see the video until I refer to it in the note that I give him with this small gift. So, like I said, you know, guys like, you know, YouTube is so helpful to people for all sorts of stuff. And during COVID, I mean, I can't imagine that he hasn't, and people like him. There are others, but at this point we're talking about John and his wife and his channel. For this example, I can't imagine the millions of dollars that people were able to scrape together just trying to find things to resell while they were out of work, while they couldn't report to work, and so forth and so forth. I mean, obviously I don't need to belabor that point, but and I also don't want to go over the top, but you know, doing it full time is like he does is not an option for most people, and you learn that quick. I'm fortunate that I have a couple of other avenues that take my time, but it's the pure enjoyment of doing a little bit of reselling, a little bit of building, a little bit of creating, reimagining, repurposing. That keeps me going. But you know, to a degree, the guys on Facebook, excuse me, the guys on YouTube and the gals on YouTube as well are equally as helpful. So so there we go. So we got the CP going. Let's let that dry. I'll clean it up a little bit. But once again, perfection is never the goal. And we will continue, and I'll tape it off, and we'll do the white on top of red here for the saying I'm going to put on there. Peace. So there we go. I went ahead and I painted the rest of the sign the red that we wanted, and we're going to wait for that to dry as well. I'm going to come back in and put the, I'm going to choose I'm going to choose I'm going to choose a font with a stencil, maybe an old Western type, to have it say what I want it to say, and we'll get going with that in a sec. But I just wanted to show you that I did move along to save time. All right, so it's probably safe to do the white lettering now. So let's do that. I'm using a vanilla color. It's just a little bit darker, obviously, than the brighter white over here. And the phrase that I'm going to use is the words, "It really means a lot." What John does on his channel, a lot of the viewers of his videos purchase things from his store as well. And when he recognizes that, you know, he'll thank them and by letting everybody know who, you know, that they were the purchaser, but also saying thank you in various ways. And one of the ways he says is essentially, you know, thank you, and it really means a lot. So I'm just going to put it really means a lot, and he'll know what that means. So I've got this little stencil here. This is a Dollar Tree job right here from years ago, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it really here, and then means a lot down here. Try to get it spaced out correctly, and then do whatever else I need to do to make it look good. So let me just scratch that out real quick. This is control your paint time. This is where it really matters. All right, so far so good. It's very rustic, not very exact, Western looking font and execution, which is kind of what we want. So I've got the old head of a nail trick just to make some dots. It's just my preferable way to do it. So we're going to center that one up. We'll do 3 up top and 2 in the bottom. So there's the top. And 2 down here. There you go. We're going to let this whole thing dry overnight. Then we're going to take the tape off and then retape so we can stain the edges, bring out some of the wood back into the piece. I guess then clear coat it. I might do a little gold emblem under here, or maybe something up in the corner here. But let me sleep on it, and we'll check it out in the morning. All right. Now as we move right along, I've now taped it off to so we can stain the natural wood borders and edges. And I'm using a wood stain. Obviously, it is called Golden Pecan, or if you're a New Yorker, it's Golden Pecan or something like that. Anyway, I've already done the bottom edge as a test. Kind of a tip, if you're not sure if you're gonna like, a stain or a paint for that matter, you just, try it on a portion of the piece that is not in plain view. That way you can have control over what you really want prior to doing the piece itself. Not the deepest advice of all time, but it's very helpful many times. I'm going to go with the grain, of course. And we just need to do the top. Very, very nice up in there. Yeah, so simple as that. We'll let this dry and return. Okay, just about dry on the stain, so let's at least get the masking tape off. See how we did. Okay. So top. Did the bottom on the back. I had spray painted it a burgundy color, just for giggles. And just a quick preview of what I'm going to do next in a little bit is I made a stencil of the Cincinnati Reds famous C logo, which I'm going to put on the back for him in white. So it's going to have the Cincinnati logo on the back. And what I think I'm going to show you on the front here, I haven't decided yet, is I might, what I call ghost, not a technical term, I didn't go to art school. Whoops, I'm a student of my own mistakes. That's about the best I could describe myself. I might do what I call ghosting on this, is where I'll take a white brush and I will just dab and outline that. It's too tight of a space to use a spray can, but sometimes I do that. I'll use a whatever color of a spray can, and it gives a nice splatter pattern, and usually comes out pretty cool. So I'm probably going to do that. So stay tuned, and we'll tap out for a second here. Let this really dry a little bit more, and we'll carry on from there. Okay, so now I've taped the relief or the cutout of the stencil that I made here, and let's give this one a go. Let's see if we can't ghost that son of a bitch on there. Let's go. Let's see. Sort of random. You just want to come in. I don't mind that I'm going into the stained edge. That gives it the sort of dropped out of the sky look. And it doesn't take much, believe it or not. Essentially, it's going to be a red. It's going to be a red C on a bunch of a whitish vanilla background. I'm using the same vanilla color. Just want to make sure we get the definition of it, and just a little bit more. A little more on the, get a little more on the brown, just to check it out. All right. Just a little C splashed out of the sky, right onto here. Boom, Cincinnati Reds, Cincinnati Picker. All right, so we'll see how that looks. Time out. So let's take it off now. Looks like it's dry enough. I can just pry it up carefully. And there you go. There's your Cincinnati Reds C. Right there for the Cincinnati Picker. And now we can do the C on the back. Just nice to throw it on the back there. Put it somewhere in the middle, like so. Once again, just print the image off the internet. Gotta control your paint there, Kev. Been doing this long enough. And yeah, you just print an image off, and then if you have sheets of these, essentially you can get them on Amazon. I think that's where I got them. Just sheets of, I think they're Mylar, and you just tape that image or shape or logo or what have you onto this piece, and then use it a razor blade, an X-Acto knife, a box cutter, and yeah, just carefully do it as accurate as you can. Surprisingly, even if it's not perfect, you know, when you use it as a stencil, it does come out pretty well. Good lesson here. You see, when I started, I had, excuse me, a little bit too much paint on the brush, which I'm always screaming about. So you just see a little bit of bleeding there. I'm going to leave it, but that's what can happen, and it doesn't take much. So anyway, so let's let that dry now. And we can, I think I'm going to consider now calling it done, and we can I'm going to spray it with a clear coat. If I have a glossy, I'm going to use a glossy clear coat. And then, you know, it goes off to John. And he'll have no idea what he'll have no idea what's going on until he gets it. And all right, so we'll come back and show the finished product. Thanks for hanging in there. Okay, so let's call it a day. It's been sprayed with a glossy finish, and both sides are now ready to go. It's ready to hang, ready to send off to John. This is the front. And that's about it. Hopefully we will get this to him sooner rather than later, and hope he enjoys it. Thank you so much for coming to the Rusty Dusty Picker channel. Leave a comment below if you have any ideas of things we should do in the future. If you like this stuff, you can subscribe or hit the thumbs up button. Be good.